a hot day here in Alabama, and I'm loving it. What's up? I just stopped for a little break to give my butt a rest. It was so sore. Somebody please rub my butt. So I got something we could talk about. Bad parenting. And I don't even know, it's not always just bad parenting. Let me tell you a little story. So my kids have both played soccer pretty much since kindergarten. Last year they had a team that had a lot of players that had been playing since kindergarten, and they were pretty good. We wound up going to the area tournament. Didn't think we could, but we won it. Didn't do as well in state, but anyway, that's a long story. In the area tournament, we played a team that we every time we play them, it's always trouble. These kids, well, it's mainly one kid I think that instigates all that, but soccer can be pretty rough. It's a very physical sport. I mean, you may not can just knock somebody on their butt like you do in football, but it is definitely physical. So these kids were taking it to another level. You can't pull on somebody's jersey. You know, you can't, you know, push and shove. There's some, you know, shouldering into the ball and, you know, fighting for the ball and stuff like that, but you just can't just shove somebody. Well, these kids were pushing and shoving. If the ref called them on it, you know, they're yelling and screaming at the ref. It's like that every game. Well, during the area tournament last fall, our team was beating their team pretty bad, and the pushing and shoving just kept getting worse and worse. I was actually a side judge for that game, which, if you don't know what a side judge is the one that goes up and down the sidelines, and he flags when the ball goes out and which direction it went out on, which team it went out on. So I was a side judge, and all the way almost in the other corner of the field opposite from where I was standing, I was somewhere around the half line, and in the other corner of the field a scuffle breaks out. Well, my oldest son is a forward. He's a striker, and he takes off runs over there and grabs a kid and throws him on the ground. Well, I didn't know what was going on. I thought my son was actually acting like a freaking thug or something, and I wasn't going to have that. I ran out on the field, grabbed him, pulled him off to the side, and chewed him out. I didn't know what was going on, so I probably should have. Turns out, anyway, one of the kids on the other team punched one of our kids 3 times in the face. Now, the kid on our team, he's a smaller kid. He's scrappy, but he's a smaller kid, and he did the right thing. He didn't retaliate. If he'd retaliated, he'd have been out of the match too. And it wasn't easy for him to not retaliate, but he didn't. But my son was not going to stand there and allow... Go straight. Please go straight. Good. All right. So my son was not going to stand there and just allow one of his team members to get beat up. And he ran across to defend his team. I did not see the punches, so I had no idea that happened. So that's why I was upset with my son. So anyway, so that happened last year. My son got a red card. Our coach and every member on both teams said, hey, you know, he wasn't fighting, he was just breaking it up. So the referee took the red card back, and the match went on. The other kid was thrown out. He got a red card. Of course, he's walking off the field screaming at the ref and everything. So we won the game, won the tournament. Everything was great. So this year, because this is a fall season now, but I'm not sure if we played this team in the spring. So yesterday, that team came to play us here at home, and it wasn't 10 minutes. One of their players has already got a yellow card. They're pushing, they're shoving, they're tugging people's jerseys. You know, one of our players run by with the ball, and instead of trying to actually defend them, they just grab the jersey, okay? So that kid got a yellow card. A bunch of their kids were screaming at the ref. Not the same kid that threw the punches. It was another kid that he got a yellow card. That was probably, man, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes into the match. The ref had already been warned about this team, and so he was really watching out for it. Anyway, So the kid that threw the punches last year, he was subbing out, and apparently he was not very happy. We've got these little dugouts that were built for the teams to sit under so they have some shade. And he walked over to the dugout and slapped the dugout and apparently used profanity, and you can't do that. That's a yellow card. So the ref yellow card. He might have been alright without the profanity, but so the ref yellow card. So he gets mad, he's yelling at the ref. The other team is all yelling at the ref. So the kid starts walking around the field. He was going to go to the bathroom is what he said. So he gets over by where me and my wife are sitting, and somebody, one of the younger kids that weren't playing, you know, they was just on the sideline watching, asked him what happened, and he says in a very loud voice that he yellow carded him for slapping the building or whatever. Well, now this part might have been excessive on the ref, but you know, you keep your mouth shut and you take your freaking card and you go on and you be a sportsman about it. I did think that this was excessive, but the ref instantly just pulled out another yellow card, and of course, if you don't know soccer, that means he's out. Not only is he out of the game, he has to leave the field. So the kid starts screaming at the ref. Other players are screaming at the ref. Parents are screaming at the ref. So the kid finally, you know, after yelling and screaming for a few minutes, he walks up to where his mother's sitting, and he's still he's up there just, man, I mean, it's not pretty. The ref stops the game, and the other team's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm stopping this game. I'm going to talk to your coach. If that player does not leave the field, the game is terminated." So everybody's yelling again. So finally the kid's like, "You know, I'm going. My bag is over there at the dugout thing," and somebody brings him his bag, and the kid starts to walk off. His mother's sitting there in a little fold-up chair thing, you know, and he kicks the chair his mother's sitting in out from under her, leaving her there on the ground crying. Now, I didn't see this, but several of our parents saw it. You know, all said it was true. One of the dads on our team said it was all he could do not to go jerk. I'm saying kid now. Keep in mind, this is a U18 team. I'm pretty sure he's probably 18, because you can play for 18 and below. Because he's been in that age group for about 3 years now. So he's 17 at least, probably 18. Okay? It was all that this one parent could do, he told me after the game, to not jerk that boy up and give him the ass whipping he needs. But it's too late. It's too late for that. You know, and all it's going to do is get you sent to. Anyway, so the kid's walking. We've got a little easy upset up in the shade to keep us in the shade. And me and my wife are sitting there, you know, and I'm just shaking my head. And this kid's walking by, and he's like, "Well, it wouldn't be the first time I got a red card. I beat the crap out of that kid last year." And my wife jumps up and says, "Excuse me?" My wife's a redhead. She's got a hot temper. And I'm like, "Babe, just sit down." So she's standing there. The kid keeps running his mouth, but keeps walking towards the car. The game still hadn't started back. Everybody's just like, wow. At this point, even the parents on that kid's team is like, you know, take a chill pill, dude. I think they were still upset, and they may have honestly had a right to be, because I thought the yellow card there on the kids off the field, which that is legal. You can get yellow card. I can get yellow carded as a parent on the sideline. Okay, I can get red carded and asked to leave the field. So the kid finally leaves, and after that the game calms down. They beat us. I think it was 4-2. It was a good game. But we lost a lot of players from last year, so it's not the same team. There's no leadership on. Anyway, you don't care about that. The point of this is, parents are freaking kids. Now, this lady, I'm assuming she's probably a single mom. She's got a kid that's got a chip on his shoulder, and I'm not just going to condemn the lady, I don't know. But the kid didn't get to where he acts like that because of good parenting, I can tell you that much. So, parent your kids, please. You have to start when they're younger, too. Well, my kids aren't perfect, but I think we've we've mostly done a good job with it. And you know, we started when we were their parents. We were not their friend. I mean, that's not to just say that we were just hard asses all the time. We had fun as a family, but there were limits. Our kids knew them, and they suffered whatever consequences were appropriate if they went over those limits, and there was no exceptions to that. Because I would rather have my kid mad at me than have him think I'm his friend and wind up in jail or something, okay? Parent your freaking kids. You're not their friend. Don't feel sorry for them if you're a single parent and they don't have their other parent around. That's not going to do them any good. You start feeling sorry for a kid and you're gonna sure as everything, you're gonna wind up with a brat on your hands. I have seen it firsthand. So please, parent your kids. You can set your limits wherever you want to, but please set limits and enforce them, because the world does not need more grown-ups that act like that freaking kid does. That is the last thing this world needs. More spoiled brats that think the world owes them something. Thinks they're God's freaking gift, man. Get over yourself. Anyway, there's my little rant for the day. So it's pretty boring on to the house. I actually, the fun road, I was so busy talking I didn't even have fun on it. But anyway, we'll end this one. My battery's got to be pretty close to being dead anyway, so we'll catch you guys next time. Be safe out there, spay and neuter, parent your kids, and have a nice day.